I live near a spring-fed creek that runs right through my property. My grandpa dug a small dam decades ago, and it created a steady pond. That pond watered cattle, filled troughs, and even provided irrigation for my garden. It was simple, sustainable, and completely legal, but the HOA hated it. Unregulated water storage, community resources misappropriated, selfish hoarding. That's what their letters said. Karen, the queen bee of the HOA, told me I was stealing water that belonged to everyone. Never mind that the creek literally started on my land and ran across my acreage before it even reached the neighborhood. Then came the fines. First $500, then $5,000. And when I refused to pay, they escalated. One afternoon, I came home to find heavy machinery parked at the edge of my property. The HOA had hired contractors to tear down my little dam. Karen stood proudly with her clipboard. "You're in violation of community code. We're restoring natural flow. You should thank us." I looked her dead in the eye and said, "You just made the worst mistake of your life." They ripped the dam apart, chunk by chunk. By sunset, the pond was gone, my cattle troughs were empty, and the creek was gushing freely downstream, straight into their neighborhood. What Karen didn't realize, that dam didn't just hold water. It regulated it. For decades, it had slowed runoff during storms and kept the creek manageable. Without it, the water had no brakes. 2 weeks later, the skies opened. Rain hammered the hills, the creek swelled, and within hours, the restored flow turned into a raging river. I stood on my porch, bone dry, watching the torrent rip past my land. On the horizon, the HOA subdivision sat low in the valley. Lights flickered. Lawns disappeared under brown water. Karen's own backyard pool overflowed as the creek broke its banks, flooding garages and swallowing cars. By midnight, the whole neighborhood looked like a swamp. Of course, the HOA tried to blame me. "You sabotaged the waterway," they shouted in court. But I came prepared. My lawyer wheeled in binders of evidence. Grandfathered water rights, the original dam permit, even emails from Karen bragging about ordering its demolition. The judge didn't just laugh them out of the room. He hammered them with damages. The HOA was found liable for every cent of flood repair. Millions. Their insurance dropped them. Homeowners turned on each other, furious at Karen for pushing the crusade. Within months, the HOA dissolved in bankruptcy. Meanwhile, I rebuilt my dam, bigger, stronger, and legally bulletproof this time. Now, when I stand by the pond and look down toward the valley, I sometimes see the watermarks still staining the sides of abandoned homes. A reminder of what happens when arrogance meets nature, and of why you don't mess with a man's dam.